This problem is number 4 on the free response practice, and it is a car is traveling with an acceleration of -2 meters per second. Its initial position is 0 meters, and it starts at a velocity of 12 meters per second. Draw a quantitative velocity graph. Also draw a position graph and motion map with correct initial and final points. So we're just going to write down some of the givens that were given here. And let me put my phone on a stand. All right, so our acceleration is -2 meters per second, which means that this negative tells us that it's slowing down. Okay. And then this velocity, that means that's our initial velocity. Our initial velocity is 12 meters per second. All right, so then coming over here, they give us our initial velocity of 12 meters per second. And it's going to be -2 meters per second for every second. So that means for every second, we're going to lose 2 meters per second. So 12 minus 2 is going to be 10. And we just keep losing 2 meters per second every second. And so lastly, at 6 seconds, we are left with the object at rest, or it's not moving. Okay. So coming over to the velocity time graph, we're going to go ahead and label these. And so since I know that the highest I need to go is 12, we'll just go by, let's see, we'll just go by 4s. Okay, so 12 meters per second is our initial, and we end at 6, and then it just goes down 2 every second. So we end up with a line that looks like this. To calculate the displacement, we're going to calculate the displacement, which is the area underneath the graph. So we have 1/2 the change in velocity times change in time, which is 1/2 of 12 minus 0 times time, which is 6. So we have 1/2 of 12 times 6, which is 1/2 of 72, which is 36 meters. Okay, so we're going to come around here, and we can read from the problem that has an initial position. So initial position of 0 meters. That means here our initial position is going to be 0 meters. And at 6 seconds, going to be 36 meters, because that is our change. Our delta x was 36 meters. So we're going to just add 36 to our initial, and we get our final. And we're going to also go by 6s here. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. And we're just going to go with a general shape. It's not totally accurate, but this is going to be sufficient for you. All right, and then for our motion map looks like it is slowing down. Okay. Then we're going to explain in a sentence what it means for the car to have an acceleration of -2 meters per second